Beseech you, sir, be merry. You have cause, so have we all, of joy. For our escape is much beyond our loss. Our hint of woe is common. Every day some sailor's wife, the masters of some merchant, and the merchant have just our theme of woe. But for the miracle, I mean our preservation, few in millions can speak like us. Then wisely, good sir, weigh our sorrow with our comfort.
Prithee, peace. He receives comfort like cold porridge. The visitor will not give him or so. Look! He's winding up the watch of his wit. By and by it will strike.
Sir,
One tale.
when every grief is entertained that's offered, comes to the entertainer
$1.
Dolor comes to him indeed. You have spoken truer than you purposed. You have taken it wiselier than I meant you should. Therefore, my lord,
Fie, what has been 50 years of his done?
I prithee, spare.
well, I have done, but yet he will be talking.
Which of he or Adrian, for a good wager, first begins to crow?
The old cock.
The cockerel!
Done. The wager,
A laugh.
a match. Though this island seem to be desert. Ha ha ha, so you're paid. Uninhabitable and almost inaccessible. Yet.
He could not miss.
It must needs be of subtle, tender, and delicate temperance. Temperance was a delicate wench.
Aye, and subtle, as he most learnedly delivered,
The air breathes upon us here most sweetly,
as if it had lungs, and rotten ones.
or as 'twere perfumed by a fen.
Here is everything advantageous to life.
True, save means to live.
Of that there's none, or little.
How lush and lusty the grass looks. How green.
The ground is indeed tawny.
With an eye of green in it.
He misses not much.
No, he doth but mistake the truth totally.
But the rarity of it is, which is indeed almost beyond credit.
As many vouched rarities are.
That our garments, being as they were drenched in the sea, hold, notwithstanding their freshness and glosses, being rather new-dyed than stained with salt water.
If but one of his pockets could speak, would it not say he lies?
Aye, or very falsely pocket up his report.
Methinks our garments are now as fresh as when we first put them on in Afric, at the marriage of the king's fair daughter Claribel to the king of Tunis.
'Twas a sweet marriage, and we prosper well in our return.
Tunis was never graced before with such a paragon to their queen.
Not since Widow Dido's time.
Widow? A pox of that. How came that widow in? Widow Dido.
What if he had shed widower Aeneas too? Good Lord, how you take it.
Widow Dido, said you? You made me study of that. She was of Carthage, not of Tunis.
This Tunis, sir, was Carthage.
Carthage?
I assure you, Carthage.
His word is more than the miraculous hop. He hath raised the walls and houses too.
Impossible matter will he make easy next.
I think he will carry this island home in his pocket, give it to his son for an apple.
And sowing the kernels of it in the sea, bring forth more islands. Aye. Why, good time.
Sir, we were talking that our garments seem now as fresh as when we were at Tunis at the marriage of your daughter, who is now queen, and the rarest that e'er came there. Bait, I bespeak you, Widow Dido. Widow Dido, aye, Widow Dido. Is not, sir, my doublet as fresh as the first day I wore it? I mean, in a sort. That sort was well fished for, when I wore it at your daughter's marriage. You cram these words into mine ears against the stomach of my sense. Would I had never married my daughter there, for coming thence my son is lost, and in my rate she too, who is so far from Italy removed, I ne'er again shall see her. O thou my heir of Naples and Milan, what strange fish hath made his meal of thee?
Sir, he may live. I saw him beat the surges under him, and ride upon their backs. He trod the water whose enmity he flung aside, and breasted the surge most swoln that met him. His bold head above the contentious waves he kept, and oared himself with good arms in lusty stroke to the shore, that o'er his wave-blown basis bowed, as stooping to relieve him. I no doubt he came alive to land. No, he's gone. Sir, you may thank yourself for this great loss. I would not bless our Europe with your daughter, but rather lose her to an African, where she at least is banished from your eye, who hath cause to whet the grief on it. Prithee, peace.
You were kneeled to and importuned otherwise by all of us, and the fair soul herself weighed between loathness and obedience, at which end the beam should bow. We have lost your son, I fear, forever. Milan and Naples have more widows in them of this business making than we bring men to comfort them. The fault's your own. So is the dearest of the loss. My lord Sebastian, the truth you speak doth lack some gentleness and time to speak it in. You rub the sore when you should bring the plaster. Very well, and most certainly. It is foul weather in us all, good sir, when you are cloudy. Foul weather? Very foul. Had I plantation of this isle, my lord, he'd sow it with nettle seed, or docks, or mallows.
And were the king on't, what should I do? 'Scape being drunk for want of wine. In the Commonwealth, I would, by contraries, execute all things. For no kind of traffic would I admit. No name of magistrate. Letters should not be known. Riches, poverty, and use of service? None. Contract, succession, born, bound of land, tilth, vineyard? None. No use of metal. Corn, wine, or oil? No occupation. All men idle. All. And women, too, but innocent and pure. No sovereignty. Yet he would be king on't. Well, the latter end of his commonwealth forgets the beginning. All things in common nature should produce, without sweat or endeavor. Treason, felony, sword, pike, knife, gun, or need of any engine would I not have.
But nature should bring forth of its own kind, all poison, all abundance, to feed my innocent people. No marrying among your subjects, no man, all idle, whores and knaves. I would govern with such perfection, sir, to excel the golden age. God save his majesty, long live Gonzalo. And do you mark me, sir? Prithee, no more. Thou dost talk nothing to me. I do well believe his highness, and did it to minister occasion to these gentlemen, who are of such sensible and nimble lungs, that they always use to laugh at nothing. 'Twas you we laughed at. Who in this merry kind of fooling am nothing to you? So you may continue, and laugh at nothing still.
What a blow was there given, and it had not fallen flat long. You are gentlemen of brave mettle, You would lift the moon out of her sphere if she would continue in it 5 weeks without changing. We would set and then go a bat fowling. Nay, good my lord, be not angry. No, I warrant you, I will not adventure my discretion so weakly. Will you laugh me asleep? For I am very heavy. Go, sleep, and hear us. What, all so soon asleep? I wish mine eyes would, with themselves, shut up my thoughts. I find they are inclined to do so. Please you, sir, do not omit the heavy author of it. Seldom visit sorrow. When it doth, it is a comforter.
We too, my lord, will watch your person while you take your rest, and guard your safety.
Thank you. Wondrous heavy.
What a strange drowsiness possesses them. It is the quality of the climate. Why doth it then not our eyelids sink? I find myself not disposed to sleep, nor I. My spirits are nimble.
They fell together all, as by consent. They dropped as by a thunderstroke.
What might, worthy Sebastian? Oh, what might? Oh, no more. And yet, methinks I see it in thy face, what thou shouldst be. The occasion speaks thee, and my strong imagination sees a crown dropping upon thy head. What? Art thou waking?
Do you not hear me speak?
I do. And surely it is a sleepy language, and thou speakest out of thy sleep. This is a strange repose. To be asleep with eyes wide open, standing, speaking, moving, and yet so fast asleep.
Noble Sebastian, thou lett'st thy fortune sleep, die rather, wink'st whiles thou art waking.
Thou dost snore distinctly. There's meaning in thy snores.
I am more serious than my custom. You must be so too, if heed me, which to do troubles thee o'er.
Well, I am standing water.
I'll teach you how to flow.
Do so. To ebb hereditary sloth instructs me.
Oh, if you but knew how you the purpose cherish whiles thus you mock it, how in stripping it you more invest it.
Ebbing men indeed. Most often do so near the bottom run by their own fear, or sloth.
Say on. The setting of thine eye and cheek proclaim a matter from thee, and a birth indeed which throws thee much to yield.
Thus, sir, although this lord of weak remembrance, this who shall be of as little memory when he is earthed, hath here almost persuade, for he's a spirit of persuasion, only professes to persuade, the king his sons alive. 'Tis as impossible that he's undrowned, and he that sleeps here swims.
I have no hope that he is undrowned.
Oh, out of that no hope. What great hope have you?
No hope that way is another way, so high a hope that even ambition cannot pierce a wink beyond, but doubt discovery there. Will you grant with me that Ferdinand is drowned? He's gone? Then tell me, who's the next heir of Naples? Clarabelle. She that is Queen of Tunis. She that dwells 10 leagues beyond man's life. She that from Naples can have no note, unless the sun were post, the man of the moon's too slow, until newborn chins be rough and raisable. She that from whom we all were sea-swallowed, though some cast again, and by that destiny, to perform an act whereof what's past is prologue, what to come in yours and my discharge. What stuff is that? How say you?
'Tis true, my brother's daughter's queen of Tunis, so is she heir of Naples. Twixt which regions there is some space.
A space whose every cubit seems to cry out, how shall that Clarabelle measure us back to Naples? Keep in Tunis, and let Sebastian wake. Say, this were death that now hath seized them. Why, they were no worse than now they are. There be that can rule Naples as well as he that sleeps. Lords that can prate as amply and unnecessarily as this Gonzalo. I myself could make a chuff of as deep chat. Oh, that you bore the mind that I do. What a sleep were this for your advancement. Do you understand me?
Methinks I do.
And how does your content tender your own good fortune?
I remember you did supplant your brother Prospero.
True. And look how well my garments sit upon me. Much feeter than before.
My brother's servants were then my fellows. Now they are my men.
But for your conscience.
Aye, sir. Where lies that? If 'twere a kibe, 'twould put me to my slipper, but I feel not this deity in my bosom. 20 consciences stand twixt me and Milan. Candid be they, and melt ere they molest. Here lies your brother, no better than the earth he lies upon, if he were that which he is like now, that's dead, whom I, with this obedient steel, 3 inches of it, might put to bed forever, whilst you, doing thus, to the perpetual wink, for I might put this ancient morsel, this Sir Prudence, who should not upbraid our course. As for the rest, they'll take suggestion as a cat laps milk. They'll tell the clock to any business that we say befits the hour.
The case, dear friend, shall be my precedent. As thou gotst Milan, I'll come by Naples. Draw thy sword, one stroke shall free thee from the tribute which thou payest, and I, the king, shall love thee.
Draw together, and when I rear my hand, do you the like, to fall it on Gonzalo.
Oh, but one word. My master through his art foresees the danger that you, his friend, are in, and sends me forth, for else his project dies, to keep them living. Will you here do snoring lie, open-eyed conspiracy his time doth take? If of life you keep a care, shake off slumber and beware, awake, awake!
Then let us both be sudden.
Now, good angels, preserve the king!
Why, how now? Ho, awake! Why are you drawn? Wherefore this ghastly looking?
What's the matter? Whilst we stood here, securing your repose, even now we heard a hollow burst or bellowing, like bulls or rather lions. Didst not wake you? It struck mine ear most terribly. I heard nothing.
Oh, 'twas a din to fright a monstrous ear, to make an earthquake. Sure, it was the roar of a whole herd of lions.
Heard you this, Gonzalo? Upon mine honor, sir, I heard a humming, and that a strange one too, which did awake me. I shaked you, sir, and cried as mine eyes opened. I saw their weapons drawn. There was a noise, that's verily. 'Tis best we stand upon our guard, or that we quit this place. Let's draw our weapons. Lead us off this ground, and let's make some further search of my poor son. Heavens keep him from these beasts, for he is sure in the island. Lead away.
Prospero, my lord, shall know what I have done. So, king, go safely on to seek thy son.